Men who like to keep their morning routine simple will love these multi-for-him gummies, specially formulated with 12 key nutrients designed to support men's daily nutritional needs. Nature-made multi-for-him gummies help support muscle and bone health. It improves your immune health, and it increases your energy metabolism. With the quality you can trust, nature-made multi-for-him gummies have no artificial flavors, no synthetic dyes, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial sweeteners, and is gluten-free. Pharmacists around the world have recommended Nature Made to be the #1 vitamin and supplement brand. So when you need something that's going to help you get you through the day, when you need something that's going to increase your energy to help you get you through that workout, to make you perform as an elite athlete at the top of your ability, try Nature Made multi-for-him gummies, because you don't want to stop
to the 12th round.
Well. Beautiful people, best damn nation. It is Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It's the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. I am your humble host, Brian Renegade, and with me, I have the best damn crew. First of all, this man was the figure for New Jack City. Yeah, they modeled New Jack City after you. The Blade Brown, yeah, that was you. Yeah, Nino Brown. They modeled the Nino Brown character after this man. He is Apollo Creed reincarnated. He's your mama's favorite wrestler, and he can whoop your daddy ass. The one and only Roosevelt Kanya.
Hey, man, did you hear the way they announced my name in Canada? Bro.
I did.
Bro.
We got to show the fans that.
I put my family on my back on that one. Like,
tell us about that whole experience, man, of you going up to Canada, bro.
Oh, man. First of all, I'm never driving again. I'm never doing that.
First of all, I got to let people know. This man drove from North Carolina to Canada.
16 hours.
Oh, there's that. Are you a trucker? Shout out to the truckers out there. But I didn't know you was about that life. You about that travel like that.
I left here around 1:00 Friday afternoon. I got to Canada, Dorval, Canada, at 6:00 Saturday morning. I took a shower. I ate breakfast. I went to the venue. I didn't even go to sleep. I went straight to the wrestling venue. I had a great fight. And then when I left, I was knocked out. I was in the car like this.
Gone.
And then I had a great fight on Sunday, man. It was an amazing experience. I've never been to Canada. The drive was long, but it was okay. Like I got to see some sights. I got to experience God's creation. I got to be in admiration of everything He has done for us. It was amazing. It's just long as hell. I'm not doing that drive again. And the promoter said, "Yeah, you're not." He said, "I appreciate you doing it this time. That's cool. Next time you ain't doing that. We're gonna fly you in."
Flight. Humans have conquered the act of flight, right? You can buy a plane ticket.
I see.
You ain't got the.
We don't have that on my planet.
Forrest Gump and ride your bike all the way to Canada.
Yeah, see, on my planet, we just teleport from one place to another. So y'all got to figure that out. Figure out how to teleport. It's faster, it's more efficient, and you don't have to worry about a whole bunch of different things. You ain't worry about crashing. And only thing you got to worry about is popping up on somebody that ain't dressed. So we got to call ahead. Like, hey, you dressed? I'm about to pop in.
You got to make that.
But I ain't had to want for nothing, man. Like they bought my meals. Hotel was like 5 to 6 star. If 6 stars is a thing. I ain't had to worry about nothing. I didn't have to worry about nothing. And they want me to come back. The guy, shout out to Mustafa Jordan. He was an amazing fighter, amazing competitor. We went in there. We really put beaters on each other. He was in there going busy. And was beating each other up. No
okay.
Diddy.
Yeah, you gotta no baby or no Diddy. Yeah.
It was fun. Outside of that, I do want to make a quick mention of all the families and everyone that's been affected by the Hurricane Helene. Hope you are doing better. Hope you're doing well. We got something that we're cooking up for you guys right here on the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. Once we finish all the schematics of what we're trying to do, we'll inform you guys, let you know what's going on. Recipes to everyone we just lost from the hurricane and all the celebrities has just been announced this last coming weeks. It's crazy that they announced John Amos.
Yeah, man. That was a big one, man, for me. Not John. Yeah,
but he passed in August. They announced it. Yes, yeah, he passed in August, bro.
Oh man,
Yeah,
rest in peace to John Amos, man. If you don't know who John Amos, man, he is the ultimate black dad. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? John Amos made his name on the show Good Times back in the '70s, man, and that was a staple in a lot of households, especially the black household. And that was one of those shows where it really depicted the family unit together, from the father, the mother, and the kids. Everybody struggled, but it was so much love in the house, and so much discipline and things that you don't see a lot in in
today's
the world
society.
today, man. So John Amos played one of those characters, man, who was a beloved father. And he continued to do that throughout his career in a lot of his roles, man. But he is an absolutely great actor, humanitarian, human being, man. And I wish the family of John Amos, man, some comfort during this time. But yeah, definitely rest in peace.
A lot of comfort right
John
now because
Amos.
the fact that he passed in August and they just brought it back up again. Like I don't
I
know.
didn't know he passed in August. I thought he just passed like recently. Like I
Yeah,
thought that was
yeah.
like,
It's
all right, he's hopping in and out like a bunny.
popcorn.
What's
Human
up,
being.
LP? There you go. Again.
Hey, here he goes again.
There
Man,
is.
he in and out more than black people's electricity.
Oh man, it's crazy. Did y'all lose power during the storm?
I don't know. I was in Canada.
Oh yeah,
No,
that's right.
actually, no. We didn't lose no power, but I know a lot of some parts of North Carolina, which is crazy, that don't usually get hurricane situations were very much affected. Asheville, Boone, places that area. So, all love and well wishes to everyone out there. Hope that everything kind of pulls together for you guys.
Absolutely, man. Well, listen, man, we got to go ahead and get into it. It's been a long time since we were able to talk a little wrestling. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing all these great interviews. So if you have not had the opportunity, man, go check out some of the great interviews that we had from Sharice Stevenson to Brian Wickline, Byron Wickline, um,
Kenny King,
Kenny King,
Cooper
uh,
Housley.
Cooper Housley from Power Slap, man. It's a lot of great interviews that we had. We got some more heaters lined up for you, Jack. So, you know what I'm saying? We got some more Power Slap royalty coming in this thing very soon. Next week, we got a great interview. Roosevelt, go ahead and tell the beautiful people about that interview.
The one we got coming up next.
Yeah.
We got Kevin Phoenix, also from Power Slap. He's an independent wrestler as well. Coming up next week on the show, we also have Sam Knight. He is an independent wrestler. He works with OVW. If you know anything about professional wrestling, OVW was the gateway to get to WWE. It was the place where a lot of the guys went and they trained, they honed into their craft. So we got Sam Knight coming on the show. We've got Bonnie Mann, a professional boxer. She was my very first trainer in boxing. WBC women's champion. She's going to come on the show at the end of this month, October 30th. We'll give you a chance to talk to her. Talk about her career and everything she's got going on. She's a public speaker, author, and everything else. Man, we got a lot of interviews coming up, man. We putting some things together. We got some bigger names that we're going to bring on the show. So the only way you're going to be able to find out who we got coming on the show, the only way you're going to be able to see who we got on the show is to tune in. Tune in, lock in, man. Follow us on everything that we got going on all the platforms so you can stay up to date. Hit that bell if you need to. Hit the bell so that way you can know the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast is on live.
Well, hold on one cotton picking minute. We got the fellas in the place to be. LP, can you hear me? No, he can't. Chef Showtime. What's happening?
What's good? What's good?
Oh, man. Man, it's good to hear you on the show, Chef. What's been going on with you, my brother?
Same old work. Trying to exceed in life.
There you go. That's all we can do is try to exceed in life. I dig that, Chef. Well, look, man, I'm glad to have you on the show. You free to talk some wrestling? You got a few minutes?
Yes, I do. I seen an
All
opening
right,
in the
man.
chat.
Let's do it, man, because we got this big event that's coming on this weekend in Atlanta, man. The ATL is hosting Bad Blood, man, and it seems like it's some bad blood in the air. You got the Drew McIntyre CM Punk feud still going on. I ain't never cared about it. I still don't kind of care about it, but I guess we're gonna see a Hell in the Cell match from them. And then we got some other matches. So Roosevelt, if you can please do the due diligence and announce some of these matches that's on this Bad Blood card.
Yes, we got Nia Jax versus Bailey. We have, like you just said, Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk in the Hell in the Cell match. We got Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. We got Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. And we have Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu.
All right, so I think if we're gonna get into some of these matches, man, I want to start with the top of the card, man, and I want to see how y'all feel about it. I don't know what's going on with LP, but he gonna pop in and out as he can. But I want to talk about this card, man, between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodline. It don't make sense to me, and I'm trying to make it make sense. And I thought Cody had something good when he was like, "Look, I don't want to get in Bloodline business no more." And then at the end of the night, he completely changed his mind and started being a superhero. Like, I don't know if anybody really wants to see the Roman and Cody fight versus the Bloodline. It don't make sense to me. I wish they would have went a different way. And I guess it does make sense because he's the champion and you want to involve him into something. And to be honest with you, Roman Reigns and his whole character, man, is overshadowing the champion right now, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be the other way around. So, with Roman Reigns not being the champion anymore, he still got the juice, man. He's still pulling the cards, and I guess Cody Rhodes needed something to get into, so he trying to help Roman defeat the Bloodline. I don't know. Make it make sense.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Captain America and Iron Man. That's exactly what it is. It's Captain America as Cody Rhodes, and Iron Man is Roman Reigns. That's exactly what it is.
Mm.
And now they're
break that down. Explain that comparison.
So they had an issue with each other because the whole Bucky thing, killing Iron Man's dad, and so now you have Cody Rhodes as Captain America. It's kind of backwards, but you got Cody Rhodes as Captain America. He was going through the whole different things, and him and Iron Man never saw eye to eye. Captain America and Iron Man never saw eye to eye, but they had a common denominator. They had a common issue. And so, the enemy of my enemy is going to be my enemy, but at least I can still kick the other guy's ass. And then we deal with our issues later. So that's where I see it. And you got the Marvel writers there at WWE. So I think a lot of things that we're going to see in terms of storyline is going to have cinematic value from the Marvel universe. So that's what I see with that.
Yeah, Chef, do you like the pairing of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodline? How you feel about that match?
Yeah, I have no thoughts on that match. That match just sounds stupid.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it make sense to me as well, man. So, Best Damn Nation, man, let us know what you think about the Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus the Bloodline. I'm hoping that they end up converging and doing the Bloodline versus Bloodline with the OG Bloodline versus this new Bloodline led by Solo Sikoa, man. I'm hoping to see that. I think that will make a lot of sense, but that's almost like the as you say, the Marvel Civil War. That's kind of what that's like, an internal civil war, and I'm not sure especially with Jay Uso being the IC champion. I'm not sure of how they're going to involve him into that bloodline storyline. I could definitely see them bringing Jimmy back. And then after Sami Zayn faces Gunther, if Sami Zayn does not win against Gunther in this match, man, on the card that he has a little bit later on in Bad Blood, I think that they're going to go ahead and try to pull the trigger on the IC championship and involve Jey Uso into this bloodline storyline again. You know, it only makes sense. But they're going to have to introduce the players one at a time, and I think that's the way that you're going to do it if you're going to make it a cinematic match. You know what I'm saying? But
you
am
know,
I excited
what's
for
weird? I don't see Sami Zayn and Gunther on the card.
Gunther?
Sami Zayn Monday.
Oh, it's going to be on Monday, next Monday?
Yeah, they moved it.
Oh, okay. Well, I wish it was on the card. It would have made sense to put it on the card, but
Right.
all right. Well, I guess they have that match for Monday, so we'll see if Sami Zayn can take the belt away from Gunther, man, or is Gunther the reigning? I don't know. It's kind of boring. You know, Raw right now is they're trying, but they're missing something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but it feels like it's missing something. I watched Raw today, but I haven't watched Raw within the last 3 weeks. I've been watching clips and stuff, but it's something that's missing that's not drawing me to actually sit down and watch the show. And I'm not sure if it's all these changes or, you know.
Yeah, they went through a lot of changes, and I think the return of Seth Rollins is going to add some kind of value. But they did exactly what I told you that they better not do. And we did it anyway. They let that man go in there and kill Bronson Reed. I told you, I said, don't let that man come back and kill Bronson. And he did it anyway. They cotton picking did it anyway.
You knew that was going to happen. You knew it.
You could at least give them something like a little. I don't know. It don't make any sense to me.
Well, let's ask the bad guy over here. Bad guy, are you on the line?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah, I ain't never done this from my laptop, so I was making sure you guys can hear.
Oh yeah, man.
I thought it was Roman. Razor Ramon.
Yeah, LPZ, man. We got Bad Blood coming up, man, and we were just talking about Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodline. Do you like this match? And does it make sense to you?
No, I could care less.
Oh man, see, I think that's a consensus.
Yeah, I just feel like Cody ain't got nothing to do with none of this. This should be only Roman, and Cody should be worrying about something else.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know why he keeps sticking his nose in Bloodline business. I think he just like getting beat up. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, man. I want to like the storyline, but I don't. I really feel like they should have it should be internal, right? I think that Cody should stay out of the Bloodline business and really let Roman Reigns keep the story, because actually you can see that there's a disruption in some of Cody Rhodes' alliances when it comes to KO. KO is tired of this shit. He tired of getting beat up. He tired of getting dragged. He tired of helping out people. Ain't nobody really helping him. You know what I'm saying? So him and Randy got this great alliance. I like the pairing, but they keep sacrificing themselves for Cody Rhodes. And outside of Cody Rhodes stuff, they really ain't got nothing going on. No. And I like the team of KO and Randy Orton. But you can't be Cody Rhodes' backup. Y'all might as well be a faction if that's the case. If that's the case, why not KO, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton form a faction? That way it makes sense. But this all ends up Cody Rhodes, and you get beat up every week.
Got Michael Jackson, Tito, and Jermaine.
Yeah, go ahead and form a faction. It only makes sense. It only makes sense to form a faction other than them keep on sacrificing themselves for Cody Rhodes. Eventually, those favors are going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's only so much. So many times you're going to get your ass whooped for somebody for you like, you know what? You're going to have to handle your own business.
Randy Orton just told Cody Rhodes, it ain't a problem until you make it a problem.
It ain't a problem until you make it a problem, but it's becoming a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you know how I feel about this Cody Rhodes belt run, man. It's gotten stale. It's stale bread. I done said that Cody Rhodes is a cold, stale mayonnaise sandwich with no flavor. He needs some flavor, and I guess he's trying to add a little oregano by joining forces with Roman Reigns, but it's still stale to me. I don't know. We'll see. What other matches we got on this card?
Well, real quick before we move on to the next thing, the problem is Cody Rhodes don't have nobody to fight. That's the problem. And so
He's plenty of people to fight. Who they pushing?
Yeah, that too. I mean, you know what? They're gonna have to take him off TV. But here's a problem. He said he was gonna be here every single week, but you're not doing anything. You're here, great. We see you, but you're not doing anything. And then you made the alliance with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, who are two guys that you could push, but now you can't really do it. And now you're trying to figure out how to turn them against each other without making the fans turn on any of them. And now you're back in the corner. I don't know. The other match that we got going on, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley in a match with Dominic, soggy ass Dominic, hanging over the ring in a damn shark cage. I'm so sick of this.
Man.
I'm tired of this.
Chef, how you feel about that match?
I don't like it.
Okay, let me see. All right. LP, what do you think about this Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan match with Dominic Mysterio hanging in a shark cage?
I kind of felt like it's 2024. They could have came up with something better than that. It's like they might well did a custody match again, and whoever wins get custody of Dominic, if that's the case.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that. Oh man, hey, listen, we got another personality on here. This is interesting. Let's see. We got the one and only Christian Rainey on the line. Christian, what's happening, man?
You're on mute.
How about now?
Yep.
Yeah, you good.
Awesome. So, I think you're wrong about your earlier point about the Cody Rhodes match not making any sense. And you actually explained, in your way of explaining why it didn't make sense, I'm going to argue that's why it does make sense.
Okay, let's go.
So the story they've been building very much is like Cody Rhodes is kind of a piece of crap to his friends. Like that, like he's evolving himself in this thing because he feels entitled to do so. But at the expense of Randy, at the expense of Kevin. So like Kevin isn't going to turn on Cody. They're both going to turn on Cody because they're tired of his shit. And I think this is the story they've set up is they're probably going to lose because Cody's going to do Cody's thing. And Cody's really not about this story. It's just a story beat. It's going to get Cody where Cody needs to be. And it's also going to push Roman against the bloodline. And Roman can't trust Cody, obviously, because of reasons. So he's going to have to bring in his own people. And this is what's going to teach him that he can't rely on anyone but his bloodline.
I don't know. It just seems like Cody needs Roman in order to stay relevant. And I'm sorry, but that's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Are you a comic book person at all?
I am.
Okay, like I very much look at this. It's that crossover event. It's the classic. This character is going to team up with this character, and it's not going to work. Like it's not going to work out. But that's how you build a great main event, though. They didn't have anything for Cody to do. So yeah, like put him against put him with his greatest rival and make him be a team for one night. And it's not going to it's not like they're going to go on to be this great tag team. No, I'm into it. I think from being a comic book fan, it's very it's very comic booky. It's very Dragon Ball Z, Goku and Vegeta teaming up to fight this foe that they agree on is a foe. When really they're going to end up fighting each other anyway. But that's kind of my take on that.
So I'm about to say, so where do you see that going, right? All right, so they have this tag match. Where does it go after that?
Well, I think it goes Cody facing Kevin again or facing Randy. And for Roman, he needs to get his own guy.
So you just proved my point. It does nothing. He's going to go back to doing the same shit he was just doing. It does nothing.
Beat. It's a story beat. It helps Roman, and they didn't have anything for Cody to do, and it's gonna make his next feud make sense. It's just a beat. It doesn't have to be the end game. It's just a beat. It's the third inning. It doesn't matter. Not every event is going to be the world-ending show.
Because it's Age of Ultron. That's what it is. It's Age of Ultron.
Yeah. We got to get to Infinity War, but we can't just jump there.
Do you like this Cody Rhodes title run?
I actually love it, but for weird reasons.
You got to break this down for me. Because you're the only person that I know that said that you love this Cody Rhodes title run. Break it down.
Do you consider Cody a babyface?
Yes.
That's the difference. I don't. At all. I don't think he's a babyface at all. I think he's a heel. I think, truly, if you pay attention to his AEW run, he's doing the same kind of shtick that got him booed there. It's cheered in WWE, but, I think he's a selfish character. He's going to do whatever is best for Cody Rhodes. Even if it looks like he's going to save somebody, it's because of his reasons, not because that person's getting jumped. It's not because Kevin's getting jumped. It's about Cody. And I think that's going to be the end game of this story, is that Cody's a piece of crap. And that's why I love it, because they're building him up to be this generation's John Cena, and he's not. He's this generation's Triple H.
It has to play out for me to see that. But if I'm looking at the similarities and characters between Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes, if you use that standpoint, they are all the same type of character where they muddle the line and they of being a heel and a babyface. They're a walk between. Like Steve Austin was a walk between. He wasn't quite a babyface. He wasn't completely a heel. The fans cheered him. And so he walked that line of being a babyface, but he had that no-nonsense, tough guy attitude, which carried him to superstar. You know what I'm saying? I think that if they're going to adjust Cody Rhodes' character to that lane, then it needs to happen sooner than later. And it needs to happen with this, because you have the next wave of PLEs coming up, which is Survivor Series. I'm not sure if they're going to do something at the beginning of the year like they usually do, but you have the Royal Rumble coming up and the road to WrestleMania. So whatever he's going to do to add a little bit of spice to this title run, he needs to do it now. You know what I'm saying? There was a comparison between his title run and the viewership, and then Jinder Mahal's title run and the viewership, and it was like 1 million more.
I actually did some research on that this morning, because someone made that point to me this morning, and so I did some research on the lowest drawing champions, and as soon as you bring up that Shawn Michaels was a lower drawing champion, Kevin Nash, Bret Hart, these are all guys who did not draw as champion, but they're considered some of the best ever. And we're going to ignore the Jack Swaggers of the world. Doesn't count. Because it doesn't fit my argument. Wrestling is in this weird spot where it's not going to draw as much this time of year. Sports are back. It's not that 3-4 month period when it was really hot, when there was nothing on. There was no football. There was no basketball. There's some playoff baseball. but like sports aren't as relevant. So of course, months ago it drew better. There's other things to watch now. I mean, on a Monday night, there are 2 different football games you can watch. Like,
I would dare argue that there's a lot of people who are wrestling fans that are not football fans. And I would dare argue that there are people who are going to watch wrestling before they watch a full football game. You know what I'm saying?
Think about the other side of that. Football fans who are also wrestling fans, are they going to put on wrestling over football? Well, wrestling's on every week. Football is only on for 17 weeks.
That's a good question. LP, what do you think about that? Do you think, wrestling versus football, as far as viewership is concerned, do you think Christian has a point with that?
Yeah, he has a point, but I think with that it boils down to who plays. I mean, I like football, but if it's the Carolina Panthers versus somebody I don't give a damn about, I'm not going to watch. I'm going to watch wrestling if I got the choice. I think most of us have been doing that. Monday Night Football has been a thing for decades, and Monday Night Raw has been a thing for decades too. So if you're a diehard fan, you're taking wrestling before you're taking football. But I would say that I like both, but it really depends on. I watch wrestling regardless, but I'm not going to watch everybody play football.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, we're talking about this Cody Rhodes title run, man, and Christian said he loves it. Roosevelt, how do you feel about Cody Rhodes' title run? Do you think that he's having a good title run right now? And if you was Cody Rhodes, what would you do to solidify your legacy as a champion?
Well, like I said a while ago, he just needs to go off TV. He's on TV every week and he's not doing anything. So I think the people are seeing it and they're looking at him like, okay, we see you. Great. We see you with the championship. Great. But you're not doing anything. What are you doing? What are you doing that's going to make me say, I'm so happy to see Cody Rhodes on the TV? Or what are you doing by the end of the night that's going to make me say, I can't wait to see what he's going to do next week? This is like watching TV, regular TV. When they leave you with a cliffhanger from the TV show, you held on to that daggone cliffhanger until the very next week when they came back for the next episode. Right now, SmackDown doesn't have that. Cody Rhodes does not have that cliffhanger situation where everyone wants to tune in next week to see what's going to happen. It's pretty much getting to a point where they're like, I know what's going to happen. He's going to come out. He's going to say his little couple things. The bloodline's going to come out. He's going to get involved in them some kind of way, and they're going to wait till next week to do the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's getting to a point where it's stale, and he's not really fighting anybody. He's not wrestling anybody. He's not. He is bullying the bully. That's what he's bullying the bully. He's getting to a point where he's like, yo, I don't like you guys. And I want to fight all of you. I want to get in the ring with you. I want to fight you and you. And even Kevin Owens last week cut him off and said, no, it ain't. We're not doing you and them anymore. We're going to do me and Randy against them. I think we've seen you get involved with them enough. And so I think the fans are getting to a point now. It's like, hey, man, we're tired of seeing it. Let's see something else.
Okay, I can definitely see it. Go ahead, Pete.
I think the problem with Cody's storyline or Cody's run is the fact that he doesn't have what Roman had. I mean, let's be honest. Roman's had the belt a bunch of times, but nobody cared until the bloodline was put into it because the bloodline storyline was so intricate. It had so many levels to it. And even when the bloodline started getting a little then they brought Sammy in, and then Sammy added even more to it. And then who's going to betray Roman, this, that, and the third. I think heels almost have better storylines than faces because when you're a face, you're just a face, but heels always have better storylines from Gunther to whatever. That's why like Randy and KO are better heels. Like the only reason why I think they're faces is because they don't have other big name faces. That's why everybody know KO is going to turn or it's going to be Randy. Everybody keep on saying KO, but we know Randy. But I think they should have already did that. That's why I was against Cody being in this bloodline thing. But I also think the bloodline is hurting Cody because as you still hold on to this bloodline stuff, Cody is not making his own lane. Cody is still caught in between this bloodline stuff. So him as a champion, he has not started carving his lane or what's going to make Cody Rhodes special. And there ain't nothing special about Cody Rhodes because it's just Cody Rhodes by itself. And unlike Stone Cold, Stone Cold was Stone Cold. He hated authority. He would just battle everybody. Like that was his thing. Triple H always had DX. The Rock was very entertaining. Like every major champion, Kurt Angle was one of the best wrestlers. Plus he could be funny. Plus he could do, a lot of other stuff. But Kurt Angle, he was a heel most of the time for most of his big stuff. Cody's just a face. They need to turn him into a heel. They need to turn him into a straight Homelander and have him be a straight heel. Because you know when they do Cody versus Roman 3, Cody's gonna be the heel. Roman is not gonna be the heel when it gets to that point. So Cody is going to turn pretty quick, whether they want to or not. I'm pretty sure they probably didn't want to. They didn't want to turn Roman into a heel, but they ain't had no choice. Cody's about to come a heel within the next 2 or 3 months, but that's what Cody needs. He needs to be a heel.
What if Cody turns in the next 4 days?
Say that?
Hey,
What if Cody turns at the show? I mean, just play with that idea for a second. Like, so everyone's waiting on Randy to turn or KO to turn. I mean, I think this is the last great babyface thing that they have for Cody. What else could you do but get this dominant heel faction over? I think if you don't turn him here, this is where it starts. And if you're expecting Randy or KO to turn and then Cody turns because he blames them for him losing, or however, if he blames Roman for them losing, like crowd is going to turn on him like that. And I think it would work. I think you just do it from here. It kind of reminds me of the CM Punk heel turn 2011 when halfway through his reign, he went from baby to heel and it just restarted everything all of a sudden. And I think Randy on this last run, he's not going to be a heel. He's going to be a face because if he turns on anyone who turns on Cody is going to get cheered for it. They're not going to get the reaction they want if they have anyone turn on Cody, if they want a true heel. I think Cody is the only guy who can be a heel in this situation. Then you can bring back AJ Styles to be a baby against a heel Cody. And there's a lot more options you have there.
I personally like heel AJ. You know what I'm saying? I love a good heel AJ Styles, man. And I thought that he had something going on with the OC. And I hopefully we see Gallows and Anderson back on aligned with AJ Styles, man. And I think that AJ Styles deserves a great run. I would love to see him with the belt again. I don't care if it's the sub belt or if it's the main belt. I think that that crowd in French was going crazy for AJ Styles. Obviously, that was one of the songs that they all knew, but that crowd was crazy in France. And so I wanted to see AJ Styles have a real go at it, have a real run, a real heel run. And he could have been that antithesis for Cody Rhodes. I think that he could have been that polar opposite to really bring something out of Cody. And because Cody does the same moves over and over, which is cool. He does the 5 moves to do. AJ Styles always switches it up. So anybody that AJ Styles faces, they got to bring a little bit more and pull some different things out of their arsenal. And I think that AJ could have been that opposite of him. Even Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton, I don't know why we're missing the pick. I think Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes is money. Because Randy can 100% bring everything that we need out of Cody. Just like Roman did. I think that Randy would do it better because he would make us care more. You know what I'm saying? We
And
care
it's
because
more
we were
personal.
invested in the bloodline storyline, but Randy can really bring it out of Cody Rhodes to bring him to that next level. But they're not pulling the trigger on that, and I don't understand. I like that. I know they try to do this baby face run with Randy. We all love Randy Orton, but Randy be who Randy is. Let Randy be Randy. You know what I'm saying? I'm with LP on this. Let Randy be Randy and bring something out of Cody Rhodes that we need for him to have this great title run. I think that could be the start of it, but not involving himself into the bloodline storyline. Because you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Macho Man versus NWO. It reminds me of Sting versus NWO. It reminds me of Flair versus like all of these in the NWO entity was so big that it overshined and overshadowed anybody's momentum that they had, anybody's title reigns that they had. The NWO cloud swallowed all of that up, and the only thing that you cared about and really remembered was the NWO. And I think it feels the same way. The bloodline cloud is hovering over and consuming everything. And Cody Rhodes is stuck in the middle of that storm. And he can't do nothing about it because that's what people want to talk about.
I think it's
Hey,
a
you
failing
made a
of
great point on that
creative
one.
for sure.
Hold on, who was that?
LP.
You made a great point on that one with the Cody, the blood, like the NWO. Because if you think about it, if it goes down how it was, like NWO was black and white. Then they got the NWO Wolf Pack. That's the Roman Reigns in them. That's what's going to happen. They're going to bring Jimmy, Jay, and them all back. Wait, I think, you might get Sammy. That's going to be the NWO Wolf Pack, the red and black.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually, and I think that's the way I see it. Like I say, I think that the bloodline, just the bloodline cloud is hovering over Cody Rhodes and KO and Randy Orton. They've been dealing with the bloodline for 4 years, maybe.
4 years. Yep, 4
On and
years.
off for 4 years.
It's almost like too much of a good thing is a bad thing. Because I think it's like if you're critical on Cody's reign, that's a failure of creative. That's not Cody's fault. Cody knows how to be a top guy. But
at the same time, he can put some input. He could say, you know what, this is not getting the reaction we need or the reaction we're expecting. Cody Rhodes is at a standpoint of his career where he can say, nah, that's not going to work. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we can say creative, but sometimes the talent too. Sometimes the talent, especially when you get to a level like Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, where you can say, yes, I agree with this, or no, I disagree with it. So yeah, I mean, but it's too cinematic, and we can see it. And if Randy Orton does get that match with Cody Rhodes, it's more personal. This right here isn't personal. It's a business thing. It was only personal because they made it personal from a story aspect. Where you finish the story, you got the title. Now move on to something more. Move on to something that's going to grab our emotions. This storyline with the bloodline is not grabbing our emotions. Roman Reigns with Solo Sikoa, the storyline with that's grabbing our emotions because we see the deep down in that. We see the family aspect. We see you disrespected me. We see I groomed you from a little child to this point. Like Roman Reigns groomed Solo Sikoa. That was the story. That he was supposed to be the next tribal chief when Roman Reigns was done. Not when Solo decided to just put his jeans on too fast and thought he was
started dressing like Prince.
Yeah, he thought he was Big Willie. And that grabs the emotions. I think WWE has to get back to grabbing the emotions. We felt the emotion of Cody Rhodes winning the WWE Championship because his dad didn't do it. We felt that. Now we have no emotion. Now we just have something on TV. It's something on TV, and that's it.
I feel you about grabbing the emotions. Like Bobby Lashley beat up on his sisters in the ring. That was some emotion catching stuff right there.
I ain't do it. I ain't do it. I didn't do it. Chef,
Sweet Jesus.
Chef said his name and he appeared.
Oh man.
We believe in Jessica Lashley. I'm sorry. I didn't do
I
that.
believe in
you, Chef.
Jessica.
We didn't miss you, Chef. We didn't miss you at all. Only way we
That's
That's
it.
a lot of emotion right there.
Huh?
That's a lot of emotion right there, you know. Every time I see that, it brings a tear to my eye when Bobby beat up on the sisters.
Yeah,
Especially Jessica last
I
year.
got something to bring a tear to y'all. Let me pull up on you. Real quick, let's get back to the Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley thing. That's what we were talking about before Christian jumped on and took over the show. I'm just kidding.
It's part of my charm.
Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan with Dirty Dom hanging over the ring. And LP was pretty much talking about his aspect, his standpoint from that. I'm over it. Just let Rhea get the belt back and let her do what she's going to do and send Liv to the gulag because she's not really doing nothing for me.
True story.
It's almost like you hate long-term stories.
It's getting to a point where when they put on these long-term stories, that they get lost in what they're trying to do. They get lost in what their final battle is supposed to be. You know what I mean? And so now you're sitting there, you're looking like, all right, this is cool. I like this. And then several months down the line, you're like, didn't y'all just do that 2 months ago? Like y'all forgot that y'all did that already, and you turn around, you're doing it again, and you're trying to make it seem like it's new. It's not new. We saw that already. I don't want to watch that anymore. So
Well,
they need to move on something more.
I think that's the thing with producing a lot of TV, man. Is sometimes you have to constantly do you realize how hard it is to really produce a TV show with people's attention span being as short as it is?
Yes,
and it's kind of like for Christmas, you trying to buy something for the aunt, they got everything. It's like, damn, what do I buy you? I don't know what to get you, and that's what wrestling fans are. They're trying to figure out, all right, we done seen everything. What haven't we seen? And ultimately, the story always brings the people back. And I think that they should have some more great storylines going, especially for the women, because the women really don't have any great storylines. Period.
Well, maybe they should produce more women stars then. They only have like 3 they're working with, and they're just rotating people to go under. I mean,
who are the 3 women stars to you, Christian?
I would argue Rhea, I guess Liv right now. I would love them to bring Becky back, Bailey, but like there isn't anyone on top that they can do that. They should call some people up from NXT. That might be interesting, but like they're doing the same stuff over and over because they don't have another option. Because half of their struggle, half the time, is they can't produce new stars, and when they try to, like with Bronson Reed, you just have Seth Rollins come back and eat them real quick, like.
Yeah,
I told you. And you see, my issue with the women's division as a whole is too repetitive. A lot of the women are coming up with the same damn shit that we saw 10, 20 years ago. You know, love her to death. The current NXT Women's Champion, what is her name?
Roxanne Perez.
AJ Lee. Tell me it's not.
I would argue that it's a more interesting version because she's very open about AJ Lee was her hero and that CM Punk was her hero. So it's this cool like hybrid thing of like, this is a product of what a generation creates. That's interesting because as she evolves, she's not just AJ Lee. Like this heel version of her is like, it's more Punk than Lee, but it's this cool meshing of it.
We got Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. That's Jazz and Jacqueline. Come on, let's be for real. That's Jazz and Jacqueline. Rhea Ripley, China. Liv Morgan is Alexa Bliss. She's always been Alexa Bliss. for the longest.
Or
So it's
you
been
could argue Chris Stratus. You could argue Chris
yeah,
Stratus.
you know. So it's
But the thing, the difference is the treatment in the women's division, right? Because we all know what wrestling used to be. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of bra and panties match, and I personally, I would love to see a good bra and panties. Just to throw it back. You know what I'm saying? Just do a one throwback, but they can't do that now. I don't know why. I think AEW would definitely do something like that, but WWE right now, unless they when they go to Netflix, you never know what we might see.
I was
think
just
it's
thinking
a
that.
very
I was just
interesting
thinking
thing.
that.
Yeah, they might because they're taking the cinematic approach. We saw that the interaction between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes when they really made it like a Godfather's like production. Man, I think that the production quality they put between that that meetup was great. I think that they should do more of that with a lot of the people that they're trying to build up. I love the way the women's division is, and they have called some stars up. For some reason, they released a couple of people. Like I don't know what happened to Kiana James, Laura Vicaria. She's kind of floundering in the women's division. I'm not sure who else they're going to call up that's actually going to move a needle. But when it comes to the women's division, I think that they should have more storylines with the women. I like how NXT is treating their young stars. And I think this is going to transition to another conversation that we had because this is something that we wanted to talk about where there was a couple of posts that were put up about WWE not pushing a lot of those black stars on the main roster, right? And I wanted to speak towards that because we have seen a lot of diversity in wrestling. We've seen a lot of growth in wrestling when it comes to who's a champion and how they're defining the championship. There's a lot of representation across the board from the Japanese culture to the Mexican lucha culture and throwback to the old Smoky Mountain wrestling days and now this new wave of black, brown, and other that are coming into wrestling, man. I really love the diversity because a lot of kids are growing up seeing versions of themselves. And that's something that I knew when I was growing up. It wasn't that much diversity on the rosters. I mean, you had Ricky Steamboat. I love Ricky Steamboat. You know what I'm saying? I loved Dusty Rhodes because Dusty Rhodes knew the talk lingo, you know what I'm saying, that connected a lot of people. And Dusty Rhodes had a huge following of African-American fans. Cody Rhodes even acknowledged that. And Cody Rhodes, by I don't know, association has garnered some of those same types of fans. But, you know what I'm saying? But as far as black representation on the PLEs, I wanted to speak towards that because LP and Roosevelt got into a back and forth bout on that. And since we have Christian here, I want to hear his input on this topic as well. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor. We're going to go ahead and court on this thing. I'm going to be the judge, LP. You're going to be the defense. No, Roosevelt, you're going to be the defense lawyer?
yeah.
LP, you prosecutor. Yeah. All right, let's talk about this topic, man. Black representation, black men representation in wrestling. I'm gonna go ahead with Roosevelt. Make your case.
Well, here's the thing. The main thing that I want to express is we've had for a very long time some really good black representation and brown and whatever. We have the Puerto Rican community, we have the black and African American community, we have the Indian community. We're pushing the envelope, we're pushing the bar, we're pushing the needle. Just because they're not running for main championships, WWE title, world title, whatever, does not mean that they're not giving the representation. They're there. We for a very long time didn't have anybody to look up to. You know what I mean? We didn't have anybody. Now we have so many that I feel like if they start pushing them, they're going to get lost in the sauce. And and we don't need that. We had, LP is going to come up. He's going to argue, if they ain't shucking and jiving and dancing and making funny, and they ain't getting no push. So the fuck what? A lot of these guys, like I said earlier, they have figured out what it is they can do that they will enjoy themselves. You know what I mean? They enjoyed it. Fucking, if you ask Ron Simmons, at what point did he stop liking wrestling? He's probably going to say when he had to do the Nation of Domination, because he had to be stigmatized to that one type of thing, and it didn't get over very well because of the society in which we were in. Once he moved over to APA, I guarantee that man had fun. He won't shuck in the job or nothing, but he had an opportunity to be himself. A lot of these guys, professional wrestling and professional wrestlers, is an extension of yourself. It is you times 10 times 100. If New Day wants to go out there and dance and be silly, whatever, that's them in real life. That's really them in real life. If you go back and you look at anything they do outside of WWE, it's video games and anime and Comic Cons. So you want them to come up there and be serious? They can't be serious. It's not going to get over. It's not going to work. They are doing something that makes it work. They're doing something that's making them money. And a lot of times of these travels, just traveling shit, just wrestling shit, it's not easy. It's not easy on your mental. It's not easy on your emotional. It's not easy on your physical. It's not easy on financial. It's not. We got guys that are wrestling every week. They're either killing themselves to make it or want to kill themselves because they're not making it. It's hard. And so when you find something and then you look at what's on the product now, look on TV, and you see, okay, Titus O'Neil. Let's go back to Titus O'Neil. When Titus O'Neil was up there, he was doing okay with him and Darren Young. When Darren Young was gone, Titus O'Neil had nothing because he had no type of personality. He couldn't really talk on the mic or nothing. He would stutter. He had a situation, but whenever he would do something like trip over his own foot and fall into the ring, he had fucking notoriety. People was like, yo, I want to watch fucking Titus O'Neil because he had something that made me want to see him. He grabbed my attention. He was he wasn't relatable. He was almost 7 foot tall dude that played football. Isn't there too many black dudes that really watch wrestling that like it because they see somebody that used to play football? They like it because they have somebody they can relate to. Kofi Kingston was somebody you can relate to. R-Truth is another guy. You can't have R-Truth go up there and be serious. It doesn't work, and it didn't work. Now he's up there, he's having fun. He held the European 24/7, 7-Eleven title for 375 freaking times. And now he goes up there and he's having fun. And he's making money doing it. If he goes up there and tries to be serious, he's going to get miserable. And he's going to see in the work. It's the body of work and it's what they're doing. Like, you got to really sit back and say, you know what? I see. Okay, he's not on the top of the mountain. Maybe he don't want to be. Maybe R-Truth is on tour right now with his music. He don't have time to be on top. He don't have time to hold a title. He got to go out there and do other things. What's Street Profits? I'm sure they have other things they want to do. The Hurt Business. They did what they needed to do. But let's be honest. A lot of them, Cedric Alexander, I love him to death. Good friend of mine. He didn't have the personality to help the Hurt Business. It wasn't. They had a great representation, but it wasn't relatable for everybody. It was 4 black men that were dressed professionally and they looked like businessmen, and I loved it. And that's what we needed. But at the end of the day, it had no longevity. It had no longevity.
All right, Tom. Thank you for that point of view. LP, you up?
Well, let me not talk too loud. I don't want to wake up the master as I start to talk. I want to make sure I don't speak too loud, just in case. Hold on, I don't want to ruffle no feathers. Man, get that shit out of here. Let's really talk about it. I've been a wrestling fan for 40 how old am I? 45, 46 years, my whole entire life. So I have seen black representation in wrestling from Coco Beware and the Junkyard Dog to what we have now. So the topic of discussion was currently, we're not talking about in the past. The topic of discussion from what I was seeing on TikTok and a lot of people have been posting about it was the black representation of men right now in WWE. So it made me think, damn, who are some of the top black stars in WWE right now? And you mind you, I didn't say star, I said top stars. So I had to think, wait a damn minute, there ain't none. There isn't a top black star. When I say top, I'm talking Roman, I'm talking Cody, I'm talking Randy. Who would you say is the top black star right now? You can't say it's R-Truth because R-Truth is not no top star. He's a favorite star. R-Truth is great. We love him, but he's not a top star. You can't say the New Day because the New Day have not been the same ever since Big E left, and they was always a group. I didn't realize until this whole Kofi Xavier Woods ain't never even had singles gold.
I have a question.
That's crazy. That's crazy when you. Who said something? Who had a question?
Me. Like, are you saying when you say top black star, are you just talking about male, or you talk about male and female?
Yeah. The discussion has been male. It was not female. Again, I didn't make this topic. I'm just scrolling TikTok, minding my business, and I seen a lot of people talking about it. So it was no. It was not black because, of course, we know Bianca held it down like none other. Mm-hmm. It was black. It was black male. They was like in the last 3 pay-per-views, no black man has had any kind of match whatsoever. So that's where it all started from, and that's like I said, that's what made me think about it. And when you think about it, it does look at whether it's Triple H or whatever. They probably don't see stock in some of these. A lot of people want Montez. A lot of people see Montez Ford as the future of whatever. Some people don't. We will never know if they don't give him that stage. If they don't give you a stage to shine, you will never get the chance, whether you win or whether you lose. They didn't see no way in Swerve Strickland. AEW did. And look at what's going on with him now. He never would have seen that at WWE. So it's a matter of them seeing, giving people these opportunities. Everybody else seems to get opportunities. Let me say this. How many opportunities has Karrion freaking Kross had in the past 2 years? Karrion Kross is trash. He has not done anything. He has not done anything. But Karrion Kross gets now that Karrion Kross is so bad by himself. How did they make it better? They gave him a squad. They gave him a group, his own faction, and he still sucks. So you got to ask yourself.
They haven't put him in position to be like a top guy to take away spots, though. Karrion lives in the undercard. If anything, I'd argue after working with Xavier Woods, that's the reason we're getting this heel Xavier Woods is because of that story, which is pushing what they hope to be a black star.
Again,
they've been building it for months.
All of that is hypothetical. You know why it's hypothetical? Because Xavier Woods is not going to be. They're not going to invest in Xavier Woods being a big, huge star. He will be a star.
They haven't invested in him every week for about the last 8 weeks. TV time is an investment. TV time is an investment.
His very obvious storyline that everybody knows is coming. Everybody
has an obvious storyline. Everybody has an obvious storyline.
You watch wrestling in this prediction.
First of all, y'all gonna cut me off.
Order in the damn court. Order in the damn court.
I didn't cut you off. I didn't cut you off when you were talking. I let you talk all your shit.
Okay.
Let me finish your point, and then the jury can go ahead and chime in. But go ahead, Pete.
It boiled down to no matter what anybody had to say. And again, this is not my topic. This is what a lot of people are talking about right now online. Is there isn't number one, there ain't no black superstar. There's black stars, there are not no black superstars. In the upper echelon, there is not nobody who look like me up there right now. I'm not saying that's going to change, but what is it going to change? Xavier Woods all of a sudden going to be wrestling for the belt and the world belt in a couple of weeks against Seth Rollins or somebody? Let's be honest. No, he's not. Is it going to be Kofi? Kofi had his chance. They never going to let Kofi get up. Who's a guy that right now, some of y'all think Carmelo Hayes will eventually be up there. Carmelo Hayes is going to be a great mid-star. He's not going to be a superstar. The thing is superstar. The last black superstar we had was probably Bobby Lashley during the Hurt Business time. Think about it. Tell me another black star, again, superstar, other than Bobby Lashley. Think about it. Tell me another one who was on the level that Bobby Lashley was during the Hurt Business. And one more fun fact, and I'm gonna do a long ass video of this later on. Huh?
Omos.
Did you say
they was pushing him? They was pushing him till he fell off.
Keep on talking. Keep on talking. Keep on. Let's go. Bypass that one.
Shut up, Jeff. The last thing, because you did bring up the Hurt Business, and you said that they had their moment, but it couldn't have lasted. The Hurt Business could have lasted just as long as anybody else if they was writing it like they did for anybody else. The Hurt Business held down the company during the pandemic when Roman wasn't, nobody was holding it down like the Hurt Business. So how do we celebrate the Hurt Business? We'll break them up. And then my last point, the Hurt Business consists of a champion who was Bobby Lashley, 2 minions, which was Cedric and what's his damn name? I forgot. What was it? Sheldon. And you had a mouthpiece that was MVP. They destroyed that, and then what did Roman get? They gave it to Roman. Roman, who is a head champion, he got 2 goons with Jimmy and Jay, and he has a mouthpiece with Paul Heyman. You can say, you're crazy, but you can't look at the parallels and say there ain't no argument in that, because once the Hurt Business was gone, later on the bloodline came up. So I rest my case.
2 years later,
unless anybody can tell me a black superstar we have right now. If you can tell me,
do you watch NXT?
Can I
cross? All right, so hold on. So let me chime in on this, because I have to be the devil's advocate in this. Now we're talking about developing stars, right? I think that right now NXT and Shawn Michaels is doing a great job of developing young stars. I don't care what race they are, what they look like. They're doing a great job of raising stars. They have done a great job with Trick Williams, who's now the new NXT champion. They have done a great job with Oba Finley. I can't wait for these 2 guys to get to the main roster. And LP, I think those are the 2. If they put the right push behind them, they can be megastars in that same upper echelon as a Bobby Lashley. You know what I'm saying? Oba Finley. Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, we've seen different treatments, but I think that Oba Finley has all the tools that he needs to become a huge star. I think Oba Finley is what they wanted Omos to be. You know what I'm saying? Trick Williams has to gift the gab, and that's going to take him a long ways. Now, his wrestling is catching up to his presence, and I think a lot of people are following behind that. But Trick Willie is definitely going to be a huge star. Roxanne Perez, I think Booker T was just asking a question if I'm sorry, it wasn't Booker T. I think it was Shawn Michaels. If Roxanne Perez was ready for that next step, and Roxanne Perez, I believe, I'm not sure of her makeup. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she's like Filipino. I don't know if she's Puerto Rican. I don't know what she is, but she's a woman of color. But they have been putting a lot of stock into Roxanne and having her have all these feuds. So I think the NXT is a great ground to be able to raise up them stars. Jada Parker is going to be a star when she eventually breaks into it. Lola Vice, representing the Latino community. Lola Vice is a great representation. So if we're talking about representation in wrestling, we have more representation than we've ever had. But I think the main question is black male stars. We haven't seen that breakout star. I think that Montez Ford on the main roster could have been that star. They started pushing him for a second, and then they pulled back, and I don't know what that was about. And then they just completely got rid of Bobby Lashley. I still don't understand that.
So Montez,
and we can argue that Jey Uso, although Jey Uso has Samoan ancestry, Jey Uso has
yes,
he's an embodiment of. I don't care what you. When I look at Jey, I see a brother. I'm sorry. When I look at Jey and Jimmy, I see a brother. I see my cousins. It's not that. The only difference here is a cultural difference. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, Jey Uso is the embodiment of that black hip hop culture. When I see Jey Uso and how the fans embrace him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
so that could be an argument that's made, even though he's not a black man. Go ahead.
They could have pushed Montez Ford like Jay. They could have pushed Montez Ford just like they pushed Jay. I know Jay had a different story and all that other kind of stuff, but it's all about what you guys put into it. They could easily
Montez didn't want to break up the Street Profits. If Montez would have got pushed, it would have broke up Street Profits. That's why he cut that shit back fast.
Exactly.
But it's okay.
A lot of these guys have the ability to say, "This is what I want to do, and this is what I don't want to do." For the long time, the New Day didn't want to do anything singles because they didn't want to break up the faction. Okay, you got to look at a bunch of different standpoints from everything. And I'm with you what you're talking about, but at the same time, what do you define as a superstar? What give me the definition for you as a wrestling superstar? Real quick.
Well, you know, I think that he's talking about who's at the top of the card, right? Who's been put in pay-per-view feuds, who's been pushed to the top of the card. You can dare say that Jey Uso is there on the main roster. Like I say, a lot of people, when they see Jey Uso, I see a cut.
Stop trying to make Jay Black. That is a cop-out.
I'm not trying to make Jay Black.
Look.
Real quick. Hold on. I got a good question. Right. If you're gonna say that whoever is being put in a top position, what are the qualities that you have to have, and what kind of thing that you will look for and say, you know what, he is a top superstar in my eyes? What kind of things would you say that you would say if you was a professional wrestler, LP? Let's go with you. If you were a professional wrestler and you were given the opportunity to create your own character, what character would it be, and how would you relate to the fans that makes them say, yo, he's a top superstar and he needs to be on the top of the mountain? What kind of qualities would you have, and what would you say, and what would you do? What would your character be to make people want to relate to you and say, he needs to have a WWE championship?
The main things you got to have, and this is from a wrestling fan. You got to know how to work the mic or have a mouthpiece. That's one or the other. You got to have wrestling skills, and you got to know how to appeal to the crowd. Those it ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Those are the three things. We have seen a lot of wrestlers who aren't that great, but they know how to work the crowd and they know how to do everything else. And look at Stone Cold. I love Stone Cold, but don't act like Stone Cold is putting out no 5-star damn matches. Let's not act like
WCW 1994.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Let's go way back. Stop.
I mean, he was until he didn't have to be.
Stone Cold. I didn't say what he was back then. I said Stone Cold Steve Austin Let's
He
be
didn't
honest.
have to be the great worker.
Let's be
He was in a
honest.
spot where he didn't
Let me
have
make my
to
point.
be.
Let me
on
make
the
my
era and the
point.
product, he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to put on a
Oh,
5-star.
so whoa, let me finish my
He had a
point.
character. He had a
Let me
gimmick.
finish my point. Let me finish my point.
Undertaker could not go in and put on a 5-star match. But if you hear that dong,
No.
making money.
The thing was,
He's making money.
you asked me what makes a great wrestler. You asked me what makes a great. You said what I think make a great wrestler. And I'm just saying it's not always about the wrestling skills because we have seen guys who aren't that great in the ring who have become major. We have become major superstars. At the end of the day, it's all about who WWE is going to decide to push. If they push you hard enough, either the fans gonna love you or the fans gonna hate you. The same way they push it, they gave Jey Uso. They seen the fans. Look at how when everybody was all on LA Knight and they wouldn't push him just yet. They still were pushing him, but they wasn't pushing him because he got over organically. It wasn't forced. Same thing with Jay. When Jay went to Raw, Jay didn't get no immediate push to Raw. Jay shit started growing organically. It just started going.
He had a world title match like his third week.
Who?
Jay.
But that was that's still after all that Jay put in years of work. It's still but anyway, Jay ain't black, regardless of what Brian want to say. Jay is not black.
I didn't say was. I just said he represents.
That contribution
He does not represent me. Jay does not. Jay, I love Jay. Jay does not represent me. Jay is not a black wrestler.
Name me a black male wrestler who is grabbing the fans' attention.
Okay, what does representation mean?
Wait, y'all asking a lot of questions.
I'm serious.
What
does representation mean? That means seeing yourself on that screen and relating to it. If Jey Uso does that for a community, that's representation. The same way Dusty was representation. It's not different. And the reason Montez Ford did not get that push was because the crowd wasn't reacting him the way they're reacting to Jay. The crowd couldn't latch on to him no matter how high of a frog splash he does. They weren't connecting.
You better go back because the fans was definitely trying to. At one point in time, the fans was really on him, but at the same time, with him, they're not letting him. They're not going to give him the chance. It's sad that I really can only use Montez Ford. When Omar's
they're building stars, but they're not going to be on top overnight.
I know that Chef Boy, but let's say after Omar's had that match with Brock, we all said that was a pretty good match and he was getting better. Then all of a sudden, nothing. They didn't bring him back. They didn't do nothing, regardless of whatever the reasons was. If they would have continued to write it right, they could have made him a star. It's all about how you
write them into a crowd reaction. The writing can only be so good. The writing doesn't create stars. The stars create stars. If you have that quality, the crowd will react. It's not like they're just not pushing the right guy. It's like it's going to take the right guy to step up and get the reaction. And I think we're looking at that with NXT. I mean, in the next 5 years, Jay Malachi is going to be a top guy. Like
shit, in the next year or two. The man is under 20.
Yes.
He's been in WWE less than a year, and he's stepping in the ring with Randy Orton. How many guys have you seen is getting pulled from the fucking NXT so fast to something to that extent? And Randy Orton is a top guy. He's been a top guy for the last 15, 20 years. And he's stepping in the ring with Randy Orton.
Y'all always on that NXT stuff. How many people came on NXT? The longer
we've
been doing this show. Brian is always, they're gonna be. How if we started counting down how many people, and Brian does it to anybody come to NXT, right? Every female, she about to be, she about to be, he about to be, he about to be, and ain't none of them done shit.
You can't say that.
We weren't doing the show when Bianca came out there.
All right, so we're talking about representation, right? and we're talking about black male representation because there was a point online, and we didn't bring up this topic, but this was a topic online about there not being any black male stars on a pay-per-view within the last couple of weeks or the last couple of events. Now, the argument is that NXT is definitely building black male stars and stars of every culture. And I think that this conversation is good to have and it's healthy because we're talking about representation of anything. Christian, do you look for any type of representation whenever you're watching something? I know that you're a white male, but I know you have a background in the makeup as well. Do you look for some people that look like you or talk like you, that not just being on the outside, but some people that have a reverence for?
I mean, of course, like that. I think with every culture, like that is so important to see yourself in that person. But that I think what's hard about it is AEW just had Swerve on top. So everyone is very aware of like, well, wait, what does WWE have? Like, and of course, like they don't. But representation just for representation, I think, is not okay. Like, you should have these guys and put them in positions to succeed. You should absolutely do that. But the crowd has to be reacting, and NXT is doing a great job of building guys who are going to be on TV. And to say that Carmelo Hayes isn't going to be a star is crazy. That's nuts. He was on top in NXT. Superstar? Give him 3 years. Come on, dude. He's like in his early 20s. Cody Rhodes is in his 40s. Roman Reigns is in his 40s. Seth Rollins is in his 40s. Damian Priest is in his 40s. These are 20-year-olds. Give them time.
I think from the LP and a lot of the fans that he's talking about from a TikTok standpoint is that they want it now. And the problem with getting it now is that when you get it now, and then you sit back and like, okay, well, now what are you going to do? What else do you have for me? And then when you don't give them anything else, then they start shitting on it. Let's be straight up. They start shitting on it. If everything has a build up, like Roman Reigns, he came in, everybody was like, yo, change him. Change him. Change him. Change him. Turn him heel. Change him. They waited. Then when they gave it to him, oh, we don't care anymore. Well, we don't want him there. No. Okay, I like it now. Blah, blah, blah. Then he leaves, he comes back, and everybody's like, oh shit, okay, I like this. I like this version. I like this, I like that. Everything is a build-up. No one can really, I have not seen anybody except for, and I hate the fucking guy, but I gotta give him some credit, Joe Hendry. I have not seen anybody that can come in out of nowhere and grab the fans as much as he does in a long time, in a very long time. Okay, and as far as like on a black standpoint, Javon Evans, again, 20 years old, and it's not because I know the kid, but look at what he has done in a short time he has been there. The dude is a superstar. Trick Williams is a superstar. You have two superstars just because they're not on the main roster because it's not time. It's not time for them to go on the main roster. They go on the main roster and they don't do anything. Then everybody's going like, oh, there they go again. They pull up these guys from NXT and they're not doing shit. Well, we did what you wanted us to do. We pulled them up. We put them in a position and then you guys act like you didn't care or you didn't want them there. And then we put him back on NXT like Cedric Alexander, and he goes up there and make a good name for himself. Now everybody's like, oh, yeah, I do know this guy. I do like him. But if he go back, then it's like, okay, I don't like him no more. Apollo Crews was doing this thing for a very long time on the main roster. He was phenomenal. He fell off a little bit, got injured. Shit happens. Went back to NXT. Was doing great. Back on the main roster, he just doesn't fit. He just doesn't grab the attention of the bigger crowd. A smaller crowd, he can do that. He can pull the emotion. He can get their attention. But if you're looking at somebody as far as like, okay, like on the modeling aspect, I'm gonna go on your realm of thing, LP. You shoot female models. Why aren't you trying to bring up any male models?
That's a easy answer. Male models are not grinding out there like female models. I'll keep it 100. I'll keep it up. Hold on. You asked me a question now. Don't cut me off. Let me talk. I can tell you right now in this area, and we're gonna talk about the area because this is where I work. you typically have a handful of male models that are serious, that's really trying to push it. Then you got a whole bunch of other male models that just trying to get some ass, or they just trying to do stuff. They're not serious about it. I get booked by female models. Male models do not book as in paying me to shoot them. So when I am booking, and I shoot anybody, I shoot whoever pays. But I will, but I have more females because the male models are out there bullshitting. So that's not my fault. That's the male model faults, but it's always been like that. And like I said, I can say for this area, I don't know about, I don't know about other areas. But to backtrack to what you said earlier, to backtrack to what you said earlier, when you were saying you think that people want it right now, that's not really the response, because it's not about right now. It's not about 20 years in the future, or all these other guys y'all saying that it's coming from NXT, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about the product right now. We're not talking about in the future. When I'm talking about I'm talking about the main roster right now. That again, that's where the argument, we're losing it a little bit going, and it's a great debate, definitely a great debate, but it's still about right now. So when I asked you guys earlier, tell me a black superstar right now, nobody answered and nobody got back to it. And we started talking about somebody else. That's all I asked. So the whole discussion is a black superstar right now. When I watch the pay-per-view coming up, unless Xavier Woods and Kofi end up doing something or whatever, or get on that pay-per-view, there ain't nobody else I expect to see, unless they do R-Truth or The Miz or whatever. I don't know where that's going, but there isn't a lot. And I never really thought about it really until that topic came up. So then when you go back to representation, I'm a black man. I like Jay. Jay's cool. Jay got the urban culture and he got the Samoan culture. The hip hop culture, that's black culture, regardless of what anybody want to say, that's black culture. But he doesn't represent me. He doesn't represent me no more than John Cena, when John Cena was black and rapping and doing all that stuff using black culture. That didn't mean John Cena represented me. When Too Cool was doing their stuff with Rikishi and doing the worm and doing that stuff, that's just them using black culture to get over. And I get it, because it works. It always works for everybody but us. But that does not represent me. So when I'm looking at wrestling now, I'm like, damn, where are the people that look like me? Just like you said earlier, Brian, when you got little kids watching the product now, there is a lot of color in there. But how many of it you seeing that's up there that look like us? It's almost as it was the same way back in the days. Now there's way more representation now, but as a black kid, if you're watching wrestling now, I love Seth Rollins. I love Damian Priest. I love Cody Rhodes. I love this. I love that. Don't kids why they think Kofi Kingston might be funny, or R-Truth is funny, or Xavier Woods, he throw the pancakes, he's super funny. Where's the representation now? See, I'm gonna make y'all think a little bit. Even if you disagree, I'm gonna make you think. But it's about right now, not the future. We're not talking about the future. We're not talking about the past. Right now, there's only a handful of us right now on that main roster on both shows. But how many? There's never been a mainstream black faction outside of the Hurt Business, other than the Nation of Domination. We have already talked about that before. Look how many other factions you have. Look how many other factions you have.
You're looking at it from a standpoint of a Nation and Domination and the Hurt Business. New Day is a representation of.
Man, stop it! Stop it!
Yes.
Now listen, LP. Listen, LP. As a comic book fan yourself, as an anime convention guy who goes to these things and you're dressed up, you're not telling me, you're not going to sit here and tell me that you don't see something in them, but that you would see in yourself from an anime standpoint. These guys are going out there and they're representing a culture of black kids who more than likely have been picked on because they like anime, or they like comic books, or they like action figures, or they like watching Marvel and DC. You are the same guy who does these things. You have your house is full of comic book and action figures. This is what they're representing. This just because they're not walking around with a full business suit does not mean that they're not representing a culture of black men. There are a bunch of black kids who can't even go to school and tell their friends, "Oh, I got this action figure," because they're going to get picked on, or they're going to get bullied, or they can't really go and get a bunch of guys to hang out with them and go to the anime conventions. A lot of stuff happens when you become adults. Let's be honest with it. Let's be 100. And this is what they're representing. They're representing a culture of black kids who like anime, who like comic books, who like video games, and that's all they look for, and that's all they want. And now they have somebody to look up to and say, "Yo, I like this guy because he liked the shit that I like." If I go on Xbox Live, I can play against Xavier Woods. I can't play against Ron Simmons. I can't play against Bobby Lashley, but I can play against Kofi Kingston. And I can watch him on TV, and I can say, "Yo, I see this guy on TV, and I play against him on a fucking video game." I can't do that same shit with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is not going to sit there and play a video game with me. That is a representation all in itself. And for someone like you who get dressed up and go to these conventions and just want to be yourself, they are having an opportunity to be themselves, and they'll be able to represent a bunch of kids who just want to be themselves. They don't want to be what mainstream is supposed to telling them what they're supposed to be. They don't want to be thugs. They don't want to be going around in business suits and going back to the old days of the Untouchables and shit like that. They just want to go in there and wear a fucking a headpiece, a damn gauntlet with 6 fucking gems on it, and say, I'm cool because I get to wear this shit no matter what, and no one's going to judge me. And that's what New Day has been doing. They're wearing things that people are not going to judge them about because they're representing a whole culture of black kids who are getting picked on because they like this type of shit.
They are shucking and jiving and throwing pancakes and being entertaining. Let me dance for you, boss. Let me dance for you. Don't get me wrong. I know I've been joking. Shout out to the New Day, because New Day has been holding it down for a very long time. But let's not get lost in let's not get into that one point of representation or whatever. Again, I still go back to the question on the product right now. Who's the major stars representing us? And I say us because I'm black. I'm sorry. I may look like I'm Chinese because my eyes slanted. but I'm not Blasian. I am black. So okay. When I watch wrestling, tell me a superstar. Stop saying these stars. Tell me a top guy.
Superstars that represent you, LP. 2 superstars that represent you, knowing you personally. Right. Is
so
I get cut off.
Yeah, and so he's saying that Xavier Woods, and I mean, this is a great debate, fellas. We can go all night on this. I think
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit, but I think that we were saying that the diversity on a man. I'm saying that diversity in general is good. I love seeing superstars that come from different regions. As you see, like you got Drew McIntyre, who represents Scottish people. You know what I'm saying? You got Rhea Ripley, who represents her Australian roots, and I love seeing different types of representation from all over the world. I think that we're saying that we would love to see more stars that to be built. Now, I think we are seeing more stars being built through NXT. I think me and Christian kind of agree on that. As far as and NXT has actually moved to doing arena shows again. So I think that's a great look for them. And Trick Williams in NXT is the spearhead of that. So we see all of these great superstars being built up. All thing we're saying from a wrestling fan's point of view is that we want to see more storylines to get people involved and engaged from the women's perspective. Bringing up new stars that aren't the stereotypical roles that we usually see. And then keep on adding diversity. Personally, I wanted to see Shinsuke Nakamura win a world championship. He hasn't won the world championship at all. I thought they were going to pull the trigger when they had that interaction between him and Seth Rollins, and they were giving him all these vignettes because I know that representation matters too. I'm happy to see Oscar and Io on there representing for their cultures and a lot of different people that are coming into wrestling. And so I think now more than ever, the wrestling world looks like the world. And we're seeing all these new up and coming talent come up who are crushing it on all levels. To Roosevelt's point, from the indies, there are a lot of Black and brown and Hispanic and Asian wrestlers that are coming up in the ranks and on the independent scene. Christian got a show that's about to happen in December, and he has a very diverse roster there, so you can see all types of representation right there for the fans that want to check out the event, man. So I love the way that wrestling is, and I think that I do want to see that next big star of color. We'll see who it is. I think it might be Trick Williams. I think it might be Javon Nevis. I think it might be Oba Femi. You know what I'm saying? From those brothers, they are crushing it right now in NXT. When they come up the main roster, hopefully the same thing translates. And we just want to see more stories, more involvement, and more representation in wrestling. Fellas, that was a great debate. I was about to come to blows at one point. Boy, I was like, I gotta pull out the gloves and pull out the gloves. Oh man. Well, fellas, let the beautiful people know what you guys are going on and where can they find you. Christian, my brother, thank you for joining this conversation, man. Where can the people find you and what you got going on?
Yeah, all the people can find me on my social medias, which is Holy Toledo Drive on Instagram and Twitter, if you still call it Twitter. And the thing I got going on is a really cool wrestling show in Knightdale, North Carolina, December 7th. And you can catch up on all the updates with that. On Newborn Wrestling is the name of it. It's gonna be awesome, and we have a great roster, and it's a great space, and I'm just so thrilled how it's coming together, and how the community's coming together to kind of help support it here and there. And I think it's just gonna be so special. So like everyone, if you're local to North Carolina, you should make that trip. I promise it'll be worth it. It's pretty cheap, all things considered. And like when it comes to making stars, some of the guys on the show, I have utmost faith that you're going to see on TV in the next 5-10 years. Like I truly believe it. But that's what I got going on. This has been fun.
Oh man, thank you, Christian, for that. Roosevelt, what you got going on and where can the people find you?
Well, tomorrow I'm doing a show in Cherry Point, North Carolina for the troops. So I'm really excited about that. We're gonna go out there and put boots to faces for the guys who put boots to pavement for us. So it's gonna be really exciting. Just came back from Canada, so that was great. I'm actually gonna go back to Canada. The promoter and all the guys there, they absolutely enjoyed my time there. I enjoyed my time there, so they want me to come back, do some things. Got Italy coming up in November. Got the UK coming up in January. Working on some other countries and some other promotions. And get back into the gym. I got to get in shape for this movie role for the Birds of Prey. It's a fan-made stunt film by Street Nerds Productions. I will be playing Bronze Tiger. We're bringing back my character, Bronze Tiger, and I'll be the main villain. So just be on the lookout for that. You already know. Follow me on Instagram, Roosevelt the Fighter, and follow me on TikTok, official_, Mr. Everything.
Absolutely. Go follow Roosevelt and everything he got going on. LPZ, the resident villain, the bad guy of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. What you guys going on and where can they find you?
I am now about to start training and bid to be a wrestler, and I'm putting together a black faction, and we're gonna whoop Roosevelt's ass. So be ready for that coming. we gonna jump the shit out of him and make him join the group.
I
like that.
What's too bad is I wish you were serious because I give you the platform.
Do that. We got buildings and rings. We can put that together. Do that now.
We can do it real quick.
all joking aside, I think that LP would make a great heel manager. Straight up, I think he would make a great heel manager. LP.
Oh yeah, I would love to just let me go off the cuff. I'll be like that old school. Y'all remember when Teddy Long was a heel manager when he had D'Lo Brown and then he later had Jazz. Like Teddy was on some stuff back then.
Yeah, he would. I can definitely see that, man. What else you got going on, LP?
Right now I'm just always doing photo shoots. I'm working on a couple of shows. That's why I've been so busy. I'm actually working on like 3 different shows because now I'm pushing my breastplates and my creations outside of my photography. So that's like another thing I'm pushing to. So, but you can find everything on One Click Photography Shoots on Instagram to keep up with what I got going on.
Absolutely. So y'all go and follow the resident villain of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, LP, and everything he got going on. My name is Brian Renegade. You can follow me on all platforms at Brian Renegade. And if you have an opportunity, you can go and follow the show. You can check us out on Instagram at the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. You can go over to Facebook, our Facebook group, the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. You can go up to our Facebook page, the BD Wrestling Podcast, where we put all of our content. You can go over to X Best Damn Wrestling Crew. You can go over to Twitch, the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. We got a TikTok. You can visit us on TikTok, Best Damn Wrestling Crew. And you can go to our website, www.thebestdamnwrestlingpodcast.com. And you can go to our damn store, www.bestdamnwrestlingstore.com, and get you some damn stuff. We got all kinds of stuff. We got cups, mugs, shirts, hoodies. So get you a damn shirt over at the Best Damn Wrestling Stuff.
Honestly, I don't think you have enough platforms. I think that these are low numbers. You're not on enough stuff, obviously, and you need to work on that.
We can always do more. We growing, baby. We growing. We got some big shit happening this year. You know what I'm saying? So follow us on all our platforms and check out some of the great interviews that we've done within the last couple of weeks. And we got some burner interviews coming up soon that you can check out. So I'm so excited about that. Fellas, you know we got to end the show the right way. We got to do a final word. So Roosevelt, do you have a final word for your beautiful subjects?
Yes, my final word for the Best Damn Nation is don't stand still in quicksand. That goes.
Don't stand still in quicksand.
Stand still in quicksand. If you feel like you are sinking, in which you're trying to do something, and you can't find your footing, you can't find your way out, maybe it's time to make a move. Don't just stand still thinking that something's going to happen, but someone's going to come save you. You pretty much have to get out there yourself. So don't stand still in quicksand. Get out there and make a move.
Absolutely. Move your damn feet. Get out of that quicksand. That is a final word from the one and only Roosevelt. The bad guy of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, the villain of villains, LP. Do you have a final word for your evil subjects?
Yeah, I just say, we can all disagree to disagree and still be cool afterwards. Everybody always gonna have different opinions. And everybody opinion is their opinion. So you don't gotta, sometimes people get, especially on the internet, be ready to shoot somebody and fight somebody. So you ain't gotta do all that. And just like the asshole, we all have one, and we all got an opinion.
We all got an asshole, and we all got an opinion. That is a final word from the one and only LP. Christian Rainey, the Rain Man, Do you have a final word for the beautiful people?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with gratitude. Sometimes life is tough, and things happen, but I think being grateful for the spot you're in, because without those things, you wouldn't be in the spot you're in. So like, and it's also gratitude that y'all had me on the show tonight. I really appreciate it. Honestly, I very much needed the outlet. So I do appreciate that, but just being grateful for every day you have, because you easily could not have that day. Like, nothing is for granted. So gratitude is my word of the day.
Absolutely. Gratitude. And Christian, sorry, man, you jumped into a whole black ass conversation. You know what I'm saying? You are a token white guy for the night. You know what I'm saying? But I'm happy to hear your opinion on that. And it was a hot topic, man. So I wanted to see what your thoughts on that were. And you were very eloquent, my friend. So thank you for joining this conversation.
Absolutely.
You are brave. You are brave, Rain Man. That's calling you the Rain Man. Yeah, you are brave, sir. Awesome. My final word is organize your life. Organize your life. I had a buddy hit me up, and he was going through a tight divorce with his wife, trying to figure out what to do and how to make amends for the things that he's done. And, you know, I told him that, hey, you guys are at a point right now that you just need to focus on yourself and focus on building yourself up. And he was like, well, how do I do that? That's easier said than done. And the thing that came to me was you have to organize things in your life. Sometimes the situation that you might be in might feel like a puzzle that has 1,000 pieces to it. And you don't know how to put it together. You don't know how to put the pieces together so that the picture makes sense. And the best way that you can do that is take one step at a time and try to organize the pieces in your life so that you can put the picture together. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going through some hard things and you don't know where to start, just start. And then once you start to organize things that and prioritize things in your life that matter, that make sense, that bring you joy, that bring you to a higher frequency and a higher consciousness of who you are and who you are trying to be. So if you're trying to get your life back on track, you don't know where to start, just start organizing yourself. Okay, I need to get my mind is messed up. I need to see somebody. I need to have some therapy. Oh man, I'm starting to gain a little bit of weight. I want to feel better about myself and my clothes. I need to work out. You know what I'm saying? All of these things are steps towards getting towards a better you. So the best way that you can start is just to start and then start to organize things in your life and then start to execute, and then you'll be on the better side of you. That is the final word from the one and only Brian Renegade. Fellas, what y'all think about that word?
That's a great word.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all all right with me. Beautiful people, we can't hold you no longer. Thank you for everyone who is watching us on Instagram. They're going crazy on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Thank you to everyone who listens to us in Radio Land on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. Thank you to all the countries that listen to us. Thank you to all the people in Australia, Germany, France, Chile, Belgium. We appreciate y'all listening to your boys and tuning in and subscribing and downloading episodes. I love y'all like play cousins. You know what? Let me have the Rain Man
Oh no.
in the song. I'm going to say we will see you next week on the next best, and I'm going to point to you. I want you to give me your best day. You already know how we go.
I've already fumbled this once.
Oh man, you're gonna be great. You got it. Beautiful people, we will see you next week on the next best
Damn
wrestling podcast. Christian Rainey, thank you for being on this episode. You are a gentleman and a scholar. LP, you are the man. And Roosevelt,
I still like the fight.
he still liked to fight for some strange reason. I don't know. I think he need a hug and some M&Ms. That'll make you happy. some milk and cookies. You want some milk and cookies? All the time he don't fight is when somebody offer him some milk and cookies. So he gonna have to get some milk and cookies when he jump off this.
Yeah.
Oh man. Beautiful people, thank you. We bid you adieu.